What is going on, everybody? It is Tyler here, and when you hear that rad music going on in the background, you know what time it is. That's right, let's get jumping right in to the TKBM podcast. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the TKBlademaster podcast. I am Tyler, along with my good friend Max, and that's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of the year. Peace out 2017 and hello 2018. Today on the podcast, it is just Max today. Jeremy has work, I think. He does
have work. Yes, he has to pay those bills.
So Jay, if you're listening, hope you enjoy it. Maybe listen to it at work one day. You never know. But guys, because 2017 is coming to an end, me and Max decided to do a sort of like a recap. And today what we're actually going to be doing is we're actually going to be picking out and naming our tops of the year. So to start out, we're going to start off with our top movies of 2017. So Max,
before we do that, I just want to say, how was your Christmas? Was it good?
I had a great Christmas, Max. I really did. I had a great Christmas.
With your family? Or
everyone came over. We went to some places. We had a good time. Met up with some people. It was nice. How about you?
I was good. It was good. It was more about the people, more or less. But that was the gifts. But remember,
right.
Christmas is not about receiving. It's about giving.
Words of wisdom from our very own Max Mazik. Guys, go ahead and comment. What did you get for Christmas this year? We'd love to know. Go ahead and comment down below. Now, let's get into it. Now, Max, I'm going to let you go first. Top 5 movies of 2017.
Movies, just movies, or we're going video games and movies?
Movies first, then we'll move into video games next.
Alrighty, top 5 movies. Oh, geez. Well, I'm going to start in the very beginning of the year with Logan.
Great pick.
If I had to make a top 10 list, it'd be Logan. Would be number one because Logan itself is just like what I wanted from the Adamantium Maniac.
Right.
It brought everything from a good send off to 2 characters which we've been viewing for the past almost 20 years. It was a deep, meaningful story. It wasn't like a hack and it wasn't like all like guns to the wall constantly all the time. It was a deep, meaningful story that I actually cared about, more or less because I've been watching these characters for like almost 2 decades. So,
right.
But Logan is my top one. Then I have to go down to War of the Planet of the Apes.
Oof.
Now
solid
it's a big
pick. Solid pick.
Though the name isn't really
what it implies.
It isn't really what the movie implies.
Right.
It's more like I don't know. I'm not a marketing guy. I could probably pick a different word for that, but war would not be the word I choose for that because This movie's not a war film. It's a character film. It's the journey of Caesar that I've been following since 2011. A franchise or a reboot that I thought I was gonna hate. Like, oh god, let's watch them butcher this franchise now. But no, they've gotten better every single time, and War finishes it off as a trilogy and I swear, if Andy Serkis does not get an Oscar nomination, I don't think he did he?
Wait.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay, then. I don't have to kill anybody.
I'd have to look at it, but no, I'm 100% backing you up in this case. That man deserves it.
Yeah, it's because, like, motion capture or not, he delivers. Like,
right.
Sometimes I think he's a person. He's not but he's an ape.
Right.
And I care about him more than anybody in that movie. I mean, everyone does a really fantastic job, but the movie is just like it's a deep, meaningful story of just like following this ape primate as he goes to the brink of destruction and then back to it. So that's my second pick. My third pick is a film that maybe no one actually saw, or it's just like it came out in the summer. Detroit. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard pretty much nothing but good things about it.
Detroit was one of my favorite films simply because that it was just the characters were like I didn't realize I was gonna feel for these characters. I mean, yes, it's kind of your cliche story of like racism during this time frame of the 1960s and 70s, but it worked. Like all the characters I cared for. The acting was spectacular. It had the actor from what's his name? He was from Chronicles of Narnia, the third one. He would.
That's the only one I haven't seen, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, he was in there, and he played that creepy and terrifying yet psychopathic cop who was like, "Geez, I didn't even know you could do this. I didn't even know you had that range." But like, Detroit is my third pick simply because like. It made me ask questions that I've been asking myself. I just didn't realize, like, the movie went the distance.
It really opened your eyes, really.
Yeah, some movies don't have the guts to go that far, and they do. They go all the way, and sometimes the imagery is just horrific, but in a good way. Fourth movie. That's a tough one. I don't know, because when you said make a list, I made top 5 movies and video games, but I can find a fourth one for you. I can find it. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Let's go with that.
Really? Okay.
Spider-Man: Homecoming. Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that on your list?
It is not.
Oh, really?
But I'll wait to get to my list, but it's another Marvel movie that made my list that Spider-Man didn't.
I will say this. Spider-Man: Homecoming, there was, 4 superhero films that came out this year? You had Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Guardians, and Logan, correct? Is there a fifth one? Or is there Justice? Oh, I completely forgot.
Like all
that's true. That's true. If I had to pick out of those 5 superhero films this year, I gotta pick Spider-Man.
Really?
Wonder Woman I really enjoy, but it's simply, I don't want to get hate for this, but I'm gonna get it. It was a little overhyped. Yes, it's the best female superhero film of all time, but it's just the same film that we've gotten from Marvel. It's Captain America and its origin stories. It's a good origin story, but it's not my favorite, but it is still a good film. Spider-Man: Homecoming, however, it takes a character that we've been watching since 2000, and they had their trilogy. The third one, not so much. Then the second reboot started with Andrew Garfield. I didn't really particularly like those films, but they were okay, I guess. The second one, not so much. And then this one, the third reboot in almost 10 years. And they delivered. They finally brought Spider-Man back to what it was supposed to be. It's not so much as his powers, but who Spider-Man is as a character. It made me... Tom Holland is my second favorite. I still prefer Tobey Maguire, but he had 3 films to get me there. Right. I need to see more of
Tom Holland's really only had 1.5. I mean,
not even a half. Like more like 1/3.
Right. So he's still got time to
evolve, and he's the age what Spider-Man is supposed to be.
That's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, and it does show like he's just a kid, and like when he has those moments with Tony Stark on top of the building, he's just like, I just want to be like you. I wanted you to be better. Right. I can see it. I see that father figureness between Tony Stark and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which does, however, have the privilege of being in the Marvel universe, of having these already established characters that we've been knowing over the past 17 movies. So it does have that, but it doesn't lean on that too much. Yes, Iron Man, Tony Stark is important in the film, but he's not the only thing in the film. So I have to pick.
And really, if you think about it, Tony Stark's only in it for half the movie. The other half is all Peter Parker's movie.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be like that. People are like, oh god, this is going to be an Iron Man 4. In a way, it's not. It is, but it's not. Right. Iron Man is simply there to be connecting the universes together, and also to be a father figure / mentor to Spider-Man.
Right.
Which is exactly what we need. Now, the one thing I didn't like about Spider-Man is Homecoming is the fact that they kind of Iron Man Spider-Man a little too much. Like
with the suit.
The suit, yes.
Yeah.
And I get it. In Infinity War, we're gonna get a version of the Iron Spider. But because you're going up against Thanos, you need all the power you can get. I understand that, but like I want Spider-Man to be Spider-Man. I don't want him shooting little tiny robots. They were cool though. It's cool seeing all that, but that's not Spider-Man. That's Tony Stark.
Right.
But that's if I had to pick out the top 5 superhero films this year, I have to go with Spider-Man: Homecoming. My last film. I get one more, right? Is that it?
Yeah, you get one more. That's right.
One more. People will be like, well, where is this film? Are you going to put it on your list? No, I am not going to put it on my list. In fact, that's going to be in a different segment down the road. My last film has to go to, I don't know,
We had a pretty good year.
Come back to me on that one. Come back to me on the last one. I'll look it up.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I actually have my list laid out, and you and I are similar in Logan and War. Those are the 2 movies that I have on my list that you have on yours. So you've basically said all I wanted to with them. I had in no particular order. I had number 1 was Logan. I just feel like, like you said, it was exactly what the trailers had promised, which We really don't get that often in film nowadays. So it promised, everything. It delivered on what we were expecting. It gave us Daphne Keane, one of the best young actresses I've ever seen, and it gave a tremendous end to the Wolverine character, like you said, that we've all grown, basically, especially you and me, we've grown up with this Wolverine since X-Men back in 2000.
17 years, yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, so the send-off was just absolutely perfect. The movie was great. The acting was great. The action scenes were fantastic and just great movie. Number 2, and War is after this one. That's my number 3. But number 2 has to be Baby Driver. I was
just looking at my list. I'm like, what can be my top 5? My fifth one, Baby Driver. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, Baby Driver. Oh my gosh. I think you, me, and Jeremy went to go see it.
Yes, we did. This is before we started collaborating, but yeah, Baby Driver. I
remember. Oh my gosh. We walked out of that movie like just blown away. We went in expecting, okay, it's another, heist, getaway, action movie, Man, did it blow us away. I remember, we were walking out. We were just like, wow. Like, didn't follow the typical action movie formula, kind of took it a different route, gave us some pretty neat plot twists during the movie. The implementation of the music in the film was just...
yes, of course.
You can't beat that. And I was looking, when I was compiling my list, the movie's actually classified. It's like an action, adventure, and music film.
Adventure?
No, it's really action. Yeah, it's just action.
I wouldn't call it an adventure film, but... almost musical.
It's action, and it's not musical, but it's a music film. No, it's music. And I was like, wow, the music had such a big role in this movie that they actually labeled it.
It's a character of itself.
Right. So that was my second pick. My third pick was War for the Planet of the Apes. I just fell in love with the reboot from Rise, and I loved it. I thought the story was good. This movie, basically solidified that the first one was good. The second one was great. This one, oh my gosh, is fantastic. The mocap in the movie, my goodness, you cannot get a better performance from people like Andy Serkis, even Woody Harrelson's character. Yeah. Really good job,
Before you go on to your fourth one, what's your favorite out of the 3? Ooh. Rise, War, or Dawn? Or Dawn or War?
I don't know.
I gotta go Dawn.
Ooh, I was gonna say Dawn too. Dawn was really good. Dawn
has everything. Dawn has the feels, the actual war parts. Great characters, a great story.
I will say, the trilogy kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like it's one of the examples of a perfect trilogy, because
of course,
in Rise you had the beginning, the explanation as to what happened. You got really good moments in the movie, but it's the beginning, the very first movie, so you're not expecting like over the top things to happen.
Yeah.
Then Dawn comes out, blown away by what the events in that movie, and then War comes out, basically the third movie. You could, like, some could say the finale of the trilogy, and just all this emotion is running through. I mean, just an example of a perfect trilogy. So I would have to say, out of those 3, my favorite, Dawn.
Okay. Because we'll go on after this, but it did like a little like subversion type of thing, like expectation subversion, to the point where Dawn had more explosions / finale-esque things than War did.
Right.
War was like a character film that could have been like, oh wait, okay, this could be the second movie. No, it's a third. But that's why I loved it so much, because it wasn't your typical three and out explosion fest.
Right. And I really enjoyed that. I definitely respect that as well.
Yes.
So number 4, the Marvel movie that I honestly set above Spider-Man. Now, I may get hate for this one.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this.
Guardians 2.
Oh, okay.
Wait, where you thought I was going?
Oh, no, exactly. I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Yeah. All right. So Guardians Volume 2, I thought... So I saw it opening weekend, like I do basically every movie now. It's weird, now that I'm older, I basically see every movie opening weekend. But I went in, instantly knew it was from the opening scene. I knew it was better than the first one. I knew we're in for a treat with this movie, and we were. And then the week goes by. I remember everyone saying, "Oh my gosh, it's so much better than than the first one." And then months go by, and it's just still on my mind. I think the DVD had released around that time, and then I'm going around. I'm like, "Hey, I'm getting Guardians 2 on a DVD," and they're like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And what are you talking about? This was good. They were like, Yes, but oh my gosh, Baby Groot was just a advertising ploy for that movie, and I'm like, all right, that may be true, but it's still a great movie. I like how we actually get some more background information about Peter Quill, because
Yeah.
from the beginning of the first movie, we had this like really weird scene where this young boy is getting shot up into space, and it's like, wait, what? And then from that moment, from the very beginning of the first movie, you're like, all right, who's this guy's dad? He's got to be someone pretty prominent, right? Then you find out the guy has a planet. So really good way to kind of continue on that storyline, continue the Marvel movies as well. And great moments in that movie. Like I said, the opening scene was good. I like the final battle scene, was probably one of my favorites. Spoiler alert as well, also gave us a very sad death in
Of course,
my main man Yondu. But yeah, I really think Guardians of the Galaxy was one of my top movies of the year. I feel like it was overrated, and it wasn't overrated at all. I feel like it was one of the best at one point, and then it slowly dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get your opinion on that, because
wait a minute. You put Guardians over Thor?
I would say yeah. I would
Really?
say yeah. I feel like I really enjoyed Thor for what it was, but I feel like it was just so different that I can't put it above it.
Okay.
Because like, no, Thor being different from the other two was good. I like that. But I'm a sucker for like, see, Guardians 2. The reason I liked it better than Thor was because if you take Guardians 1 and then you watch Guardians 2, you kind of have that easy connection between the movies, and going from one to the other is pretty, seamless or whatever. Thor went in a very different direction. And
it did.
Even though it was for the better for the Thor movies in general, not just the MCU, I just feel like it was a very disconnecting Marvel movie in that sense. I felt that Thor was just very, very different. And he's undergone some changes, I understand. I just feel like it was just a very different movie. Good, but very different.
Okay. I understand that.
So yeah, that's my fourth one. And my fifth one, this was just a out of the park, like, just why, but I love this movie so much. Lego Batman movie. My gosh, I did not expect this movie to be so good. And I honestly didn't think you can top the Lego movie. I didn't think they could top it. But Lego Batman movie comes out and tops it. I remember the ads for this thinking, oh my gosh, a Lego Batman movie? Or is this really what we're going with now? Just if the DC universe can't make it, maybe the Lego DC universe can make it. So I go see it, and man, when they made that Dick Grayson joke in the movie, Max, I promise, dude, I was dying laughing. All the kids went right over their head, and I'm dying laughing, and I'm like, oh, this is the movie I'm getting into.
Well, kids can be cruel.
From that scene on, I love that movie.
It knew what it was, it ran with it, and it worked.
Exactly. I didn't expect much. It was the same thing with Baby Driver. I didn't expect much going into it, but I came out with a smile on my face and just shock.
I feel like that was 2017 in a nutshell. It was films like, oh, I don't really okay about this film, and like you see it, you're like, what did I just watch? It was awesome.
Right. I did.
And then the films that we were expecting to be good were not so good.
Right.
And I think that's a good segue into our next topic. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. We got some positives out the way. Now let's go into the negatives. We have a pretty unique list. After this, we're going to get into our top favorite video games of 2017. But we got to throw in that negativity in there. We got to balance this podcast out. So Max, this segment is going to be the top letdowns of 2017. Top
Movies.
3 list. Your top your movie letdowns?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go for it.
All right, I'm going to save the best one for last. But starting off, I'm going to go ahead and start with Alien Covenant.
Okay. I still haven't seen it in its entirety.
You haven't seen it? Well, you've seen bits and
pieces of it.
Okay. But Alien Covenant was like, all right, Ridley Scott's back. I'm ready to see this. Let's see where they go with this. But then, like, it was a 2 hour and 5, whatever how long it was, a 5-year-long snooze fest. Like, it started off strong, and then I think I fell asleep like twice throughout the film. Like, I was like, what's going on here? Like, what's Michael Fassbender's character doing? Why are we having a 5 minute scene watching himself play the flute? Right. I don't like. It's like, and then we get robot fighting. I get it. Like that wasn't what I expected to see in an alien movie, and that's not what made it bad. It's just it didn't feel like an alien movie. It felt more like it wanted to be an Alien sequel, an Alien reboot sequel, but it also wanted to be a Prometheus sequel. It didn't know which side to go on, and that's why it didn't work for me.
I really did. That's the thing. I haven't seen it, but I've seen Prometheus. So hearing that this was out, and I mean, by the time I kind of really wanted to see it, it was out on DVD. I mean, I didn't go in theaters and see it, but I saw it on DVD. I'm like, okay, I still haven't. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I've only seen some of like the xenomorph scenes from it. Nothing too special.
Yeah.
But I watched Prometheus and I was like, okay, this is like their starting over. So their prequel. Let's get into this. So I haven't seen Covenant
yet. It's a prequel, but it's also like a sequel, which it doesn't work because like the film just seems discombobulated with like it doesn't know what it wants to be.
Right. So Alien Covenant is your first letdown. Okay.
My second I got 3 of them. My second one. See, I got 2 right now. I got 2. It could be one of them, but I'm just gonna say both of them. I'm gonna skim over the first one and talk about the second one. My honorable mention is The Mummy.
Ooh, good.
I love The Mummy. I love the Mummy franchise. It's one of my favorite adventure films of all time. But this movie, it didn't work at all. All it did was try and feed off the hype of like the MCU was doing. It was trying to make its own universe, and it didn't work. It didn't set up its movies first. It tries, okay, let's get this movie out. Let's shoehorn as many characters as possible.
Right.
And it didn't. It just felt like I didn't know. I wasn't watching a mummy movie. I was watching a Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Invisible Man, The Werewolf. I was watching.
They force-fed us. They force-fed the audience.
Yeah, of course. It doesn't work. Tom Cruise was okay, I guess, but like the dialogue was laughable, the CGI was stupid, and the story made no sense at all. Like it's like, oh, there's this secret organization, aka Shield, is going around trying to collect all these creatures of the night,
remnants of these monsters that some people may know what they are, but then there are others who are like, okay, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like all these movies, like all these things that we're hinting at, and like, hey, look at this Easter egg. These are films that our dads and our other dads have grown up with. Not our age. These kids are like, what's this? I don't understand this. What's going on here? No one knows. These kids don't know.
And well, in that sense, I mean, like that's the thing. You would catch on. And I'm not saying that a movie should never do that, because it's a really cool illusion to have. Like when you get it, you look at it and you're like, oh, that's what that is, or something. You know what I'm saying? I understood what some of the things were. Like at first I've only seen this movie once, thank God. But when they showed the thing from the Creature from the Black Lagoon, that was the only one I didn't recognize, because I'm looking at all these like monster remnants, and I'm like, well, okay, there's that one. I know what that is. That's Dracula. That's Wolfman. This is that. And I'm like, I saw this like hand, and I'm like, what? And that's the scene where they're walking down that hallway, and I'm seeing all this stuff. I literally facepalm, because I'm like, oh my gosh, are they really going about this right now?
That scene of walking down that place reminded me just of Amazing Spider-Man 2 at the very end.
Oh,
where that guy with the hat is walking down, and like you see the vulture wings, you see Doc Ock's arms. I don't know what else you saw. Like I don't know what else you saw, but you saw a bunch of other crap that was like, we're getting to get sequels. No, you're not. You're gonna get destroyed, and Marvel's gonna get Spider-Man back. But
they were thinking at that moment the Sonyverse will expand after this movie. This movie will be a success.
We need an Aunt May movie. No, we don't.
Oh please, no.
But okay, and then to end off, that was my honorable mention. I was gonna like glaze over it, but it pissed me off so much that I had to talk about it. And my main second one is Justice League.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it didn't work for me. Like I liked it just for the fact that like I like the Flash, and Aquaman's rock star-esque look is awesome.
Right.
And Wonder Woman is awesome too. But like the film felt like 5 films. I know Josh Whedon finished what Zack Snyder started. I know he had to walk away for terrible reasons because of what happened to his family. But I get it. Like that stuff happens. But the film felt discombobulated in the fact like I was watching a Avengers style film, but dipped with a little bit of Watchmen. It didn't work. So I was like, that was that, and then the film just tried to be too funny, and it worked in some points, but then it didn't. And then my biggest problem, the CGI looked like it was from 2001. Like,
okay, so the CGI in regards to Steppenwolf or just in general?
Steppenwolf, Superman when he first came out and he was flying, I'm like, oh god, this looks terrible. What
about the mustache thing?
I had a nightmare after that. I'm like, oh god. And I saw behind the scenes pictures of what it actually looks like.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm like, just give us that, please. Just give us that.
It was about 2 months to about a month before the movie came out, dude. People were dropped. That was about the time whenever like those set photos released, dude. There were videos like just up the wall on YouTube, thumbnails of Henry Cavill.
It was hilarious
with that pedo mustache of his.
I'm like, why did who at Warner Bros. Thought this was a good idea to let this slide?
Oh, and then in the movie, when you could see, when you see it, it's you just go, oh my god, I can't take this movie seriously. I can't.
Okay, but overall, like, I know the DCEU is going through some changes right now. Like, I think they're gonna do they're doing the Aquaman film and then Flashpoint, and I think they're rebooting their franchise after that, which they have to because like this franchise has been through too much. They tried to do too much too fast, and I wrote an article about why it's failing in the sense that they tried to do so much so fast, and they just didn't build they didn't build their universe.
My thing before I get into my list is especially with the DCEU is that in five films so far that we've gotten from them, there has been one shining light in that handful of movies. You take a look at Marvel, you had
every movie from the phase 1 worked to a point.
Incredible Hulk,
the Incredible Hulk was the first one of them, yeah.
Right. But I mean, anyway, in regards to that makes sense. I totally agree with you in that. And to get into my movie,
oh wait a minute, I have one left. That was I had a dishonorable mention in there.
Curveball.
I had a dishonorable mention in there. I have one more, which this one might have the most controversy considering it's still in theaters and the name behind it. Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
A letdown? I had a feeling when I was like kind of trying. Okay, let me go into my list. I knew you were gonna say something about it. I just had a feeling. Okay, all right. Explain. I would love to get your.
Okay.
I don't know why, but you know.
To make a point, long but short. I went to see this film with my dear lady friend. And she is at this point we watched it. She has not seen a Star Wars film. Her reasons were, I'm just coming to see it because you love Star Wars so much. And I was so giddy that whole day. We went and we ate dinner. I was just like, okay, what time does the film start? 8. Okay, it's 6:45. We gotta go now. I was just like, I was ready to go. I didn't drink anything. I barely ate. I barely I didn't want to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to feel nauseous. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go sit in the theater right now. And so the movie starts, and I'm like, okay, this feels like a Star Wars film. I'm watching it, and then slowly the goggles come off.
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the hell is happening? Who designed this? Who thought this was a good idea? The film kept going on and on and on, and then when I got home, I was like, did I like this film or did I not like this film? I don't know. And then, like, I wrote my review for it. I might have been still fanboying out because I gave it an 8. I don't know. I'll get any lower than that. But, like, excuse me. Then, the next day at work, I also work at the movie theater that I went and saw it at. I was talking to some people who work there, and, like, we just started thinking of all these questions and stuff. I'm like, oh, God, this film is not good. It's not horrible, but it's not good either. Like,
right, it's a decent movie that has the shots here and there, but then the film in general just didn't seem to satisfy at all.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this in our last podcast about like the review of Star Wars. So I'll stop in a second to the point where like it has its moments, but it just pissed me off after I thought about it. Like it's one of those films like Like, a film is good if you can think about it for a couple of days afterwards and you still enjoy it.
Right.
But I saw it twice, 3 times actually. I was just like, nope,
Right.
it doesn't help me.
And I feel like with a movie like that, I mean, it's especially Star Wars, especially something where you can go in, it could be the worst movie ever, but because it's Star Wars, you're gonna come out that first time just loving it. I feel like with a movie like that, and I mean, you can do this even with Marvel movies now. I mean, I feel like with those, if it, like, especially in your case, you're a big fan of all these like series, all these universes. You go see it once, you think it's the best thing of all time. Then you go see it again, you start to think about it, and then it's like, oh, well, I had the nostalgia glasses on. Let me take them off for a minute, and then now let me realize, let me look at it as a movie and not the next chapter in this saga that I've been loving since I was a kid.
Yeah,
I feel like
and
movies like that you need to see twice.
Yeah, and then to finish off with it, on my channel, I'm actually going to be doing a second review for the movie. And Tyler, I was going to ask you earlier, but did you want to be a part of that?
Love to. Let's do it.
All right, all right, so it's gonna be me, Tyler Diedros, aka the lovely Keyblade Master 326,
that's me,
and our good friend Jeremy Gaines, also known as the Thunderbolt Media. So we're all gonna get together and do a audio review of that. So stay tuned, looking for that. But yes, that is my third and final movie letdown of 2017.
Alrighty, guys. So with that, we've reached the halfway point. Still ahead, we still have my 2017 letdowns, and then we're going to close it out with our top 2017 video games. Let's get it started. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start it out a little light and then kind of work my way down. My first letdown was Dark Tower.
Okay.
I was actually looking forward to this, and I saw just the hate this movie got. And I was like, oh, no, you got Idris Elba, you got Matthew McConaughey, you got this kid that I have never heard of. Let's go see. I'm like, hey, it's Dark Tower. I knew about the books beforehand, understood that it's part of a series, and that if you make a movie based off a book that's part of a series, more than likely the first movie is going to lead to more movies. So
of course,
I finally see it after hearing about all this, like, oh, it's not that good, it's horrible, don't see it. I'm like, what? Whatever. We'll see it. Walked out thinking, yep, I get it now. I totally get it. I was just disappointed with it. I was looking forward to it. The trailers made it seem like this great looking movie. Disappointed with it, to close that.
Okay.
Second one, Justice League, same exact reasons why. When Joss Whedon actually took over, I was pumped. I'm like, dude, let's go, man. The guy who directed my favorite movie of all time in Avengers, I was like, dude, you got this. This movie will not be bad. And then if you think about like the timeline of Justice League from the unwatchable version, which, dude, I don't know about you, but I want to watch it. I want to see the unwatchable version. Do you remember in the beginning, like before, like very in the middle of the year, or like early in the year, probably around like spring and summertime, there was a cut of Justice League that executives deemed unwatchable.
I heard about that vaguely, but
it was I don't know much about it, but basically when the movie was like first finished for the first time, even though it's gone like through 3 stages of like restarting or whatever, which is why the budget was $300 million. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And so, dude, after seeing the movie, I want to see that unwatchable cut, because my biggest problem with Justice League, the pacing. Avengers had a good pacing because you had all these characters already at some point, so now you don't have to spend so much time explaining where they're from and everything. Even with this, especially with this movie being barely over 2 hours, and 5 minutes of that is credits, so an hour and 55 minutes of a team-up movie. With Justice League, a team-up movie, like, this isn't Ant-Man and the Wasp where if it's too short, big deal, whatever, This is Justice League. This is the movie that will bring DC up to the sky and be like, dude, Marvel, we just bested you. Well, no, it wasn't. And like you said, I basically had the same thoughts that you do. I enjoyed it. It was okay. But you could tell this movie went through a lot of errors, and a little bit too many errors, to the point where it didn't deliver and it didn't get the outcome that Warner Brothers expected.
Yeah.
I remember the opening weekend the budget with like, I mean, the gross was just so low, and it was insane to see that. I hate to say that, but Justice League was another letdown for me. And then finally, the coup de grace of all letdowns. You guys will definitely agree with me in this, okay? The biggest letdown of 2017, Transformers: The Last Night.
I didn't want to put it in there because I know you were going to. So.
Oh, this movie, guys. I loved the first Transformers. Didn't care for the second one. Absolutely adored the third one. Thought the fourth one was underrated. I mean, I think the fourth one's really, really good. I mean, it's not better than the like some of the original ones, but I think it's pretty good.
You like the fourth one?
I think the fourth one's better than 2.
2 was just garbage.
I hate 2, and if I had to put it above, I think 4 is it's not the best Transformers film, but I appreciate what they did in this one. I would like to see more of the Dinobots, but that's another story for another day. Then The Last Night comes around, and then you go in. This is Michael Bay's last movie. This is Michael Bay's last Transformers movie he's doing. So he says, and I kind of took that to heart. Like, okay, it's your last one. Well, I think I took it differently than everyone else because I was expecting it to kind of just, end. I was expecting an ending. I mean, kind of a little dirt moment, but you have the last in the movie title. So I'm like, okay, I know it was referring to The Last Night. I get that. But I'm just saying, I thought this movie was going to be the end to like maybe his saga. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going in, and then I'm watching them build upon a universe that's already in motion right now. You're trying to introduce these humans who mean absolutely nothing to me at this point in your 5th movie. You're giving me these kids who I know nothing about, don't care about, and you're going to give me Mark Wahlberg, who I've had for 1 movie. I kind of care about him. I understand what he's gone through, but you're going to make him like another Sam Witwicky, like just like out of the blue? I mean, come on, what are you going to do with that? And then you end the movie, again, spoiler alert, you end the movie, and you tease Unicron, who was like mentioned in the beginning of the movie, and we get another word of him in the end.
Like, you think if someone teases if a movie teases a character in the beginning of the movie, you expect to see him or her or the thing at the end of the movie as like either a character reveal or the villain.
Imagine in Avengers. All right, guys, we need your help for fighting Thanos. Surprise, Loki's here. Let's fight him. And then at the end, you get the post-credit scene. It's Thanos, and you're like, oh, what? You're kind of confused for a minute. That's what I felt like. Yeah, exactly. So this one was just a huge letdown with some of the some of the cringiest scenes I've ever seen. The icing on the cake was when Mark Wahlberg, he takes his sword out, his little human sword, against Optimus Prime, and he blocks it like a champ, dude.
No, it wasn't Optimus Prime.
Wait, oh no,
it was one of those knights in the ship that were protect. I don't even know how I remember this, but like it was one of the knights in the ship that came underwater that were protecting the talisman.
You sure it wasn't Optimus when he tried to kill Bumblebee?
No, because Optimus comes out of his little trance after Bumblebee just miraculously starts talking for some reason.
Right.
Even though in the beginning of the film it says his voice box is once again broken.
Right. No matter who it is, okay? I'm not one for like, oh, that could never happen in movies. I'm never like that because I understand you make a movie, you throw all form of realism.
You subject to disbelief in these kind of movies.
In Transformers especially, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going in and I'm like scenes like that, okay? It really disappointed me because even though people just hated on the 4th one. I know people who say that's the worst one ever made, which I do not believe it is. I feel like that has greater value than Revenge of the Fallen. Oh my gosh. I can have a whole session as to why I hate that movie. But The Last Night was just a letdown for me. I was expecting to go out with a bang, send Michael Bay off, go on your diddly way of, making more explosion movies, do what you got to do, man. But instead I get yet another cliffhanger compared to the episode, I was about to say episode 4, the Age of Extinction's cliffhanger with Optimus going into space, expecting that there's going to be this new Cybertonian era in Transformers. And what do you know? I'm back on Earth with Mark Wahlberg, who, guess what? Don't really care about, but he's back.
Yep.
So that was my last letdown.
What's your worst one? out of the 5? I can easily answer this one.
Oh, Revenge of the Fallen, by far.
Oh, The Last Night for me.
I know. On the 5. Ooh, I see. Now that you say that, I'm gonna stick with Revenge of the Fallen.
Okay.
Really
we need some diversity. It's good. Just
Revenge
not
of
the
Fallen,
kind of diversity that Revenge of the Fallen gave us. Though.
Right, Revenge of the Fallen. I saw it and I was like, dude, this is dumb. I hate this one. I hate it.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, we're gonna go ahead and move towards our top 2017 video games. Max, what you got?
All right, I got 4 games. One of which is not really a game; it's more like an expansion, but it damn well could be its own game. But I'm gonna start in the beginning of the year. We're gonna go with Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Great
I actually didn't pick this up when it picked. I actually didn't pick this up in the beginning of the year. I picked it up a little later, whenever it was on sale, because at the time I didn't have any money, so I couldn't buy it. But I wanted to, because I came off of The Division. I was just like, it's just like Destiny, but in a post-apocalyptic version of New York.
Right.
So I was like, but then I got it. I was like, wow, this is the kind of tactical shooter, open world game that I like to play with friends. Especially, this game is meant to play with friends. It's okay once in a while to play by yourself. But if you play with friends, you can have the best time choreographing fights and ambushes and taking out outposts. Like, okay, I'm on mark. 3, 2, 1, shoot. All right, move in. It's like, that's just kind of the kind of stuff that you don't get a lot in video games. Most is just like, shoot, grunt, explosions, ooh, loot. Right. So that's my first pick. Second pick is a game where I was so excited for. We talked about this in our last podcast a tiny bit. Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War.
Great pick.
We talked about this a couple times. So I'm just keep it brief. It delivers on what the first game did, and it amplifies. It might have a little bit too much of replay, but replay like the same stuff as the first one did, but which does hurt the replay value a little bit. But it does deliver on its storytelling, even though it destroys the canon.
Right.
But
in
it's
the very
still
beginning.
Overall, though, it's like Middle-earth Shadow War is still a great game as far as gameplay and story driven, even though it's not really canon. My third game, which isn't really a game, but it kind of is its own, Fortnite.
Ooh, okay, yeah, good. Great pick.
Now, I'm not a PC gamer. I want to be, but I'm so poor I can't afford the stuff to fix up my computer. Anybody willing to donate? Hey, I'm right here. Point is,
link in the description.
Yeah, link in the description below for my donation box. But Fortnite is just like, I thought it was like, because I saw it was like $30. I'm like, I don't have the money for that. I'll wait. I'll see. I'll look at it. But then I saw on my dashboard and it said, Fortnite, play the beta. I'm like, beta? Okay. Because I didn't know the beta was actually just the multiplayer version, which is the free version of the game. Because right. I'm like, okay. I downloaded it. I'm like, this is awesome. It's like a fast version of PUBG. I like PUBG, but it's like a fast-paced cartoon version of that game. I'm like, this is awesome. So I got my friends to look at it. I'm like, this game is awesome. So we like started playing ever since, and it's just so much fun. Like, games last from 5 seconds to 20 minutes. It's just like, I'm like, yes, this is a perfect play for friends game. Like, late at night, just having fun, cracking jokes. If you lose, oh well, go play another game. You'll be right back in the action in 3 seconds.
That's what I like about the game. I love how there's no delay between losing a game and then getting back into one. It's literally, you can be done in under a minute.
Yeah, and then my last one, which is also not a full game, but it's an expansion I was talking about. It did sweep a little bit under the rug, but it's still a great incarnation of this expansion. XCOM 2: War of the Chosen.
Okay. Yeah, I know you. I know you really are a big fan of XCOM.
Okay, yeah, of course. Like when I first saw XCOM, I was like, I don't like this. This is stupid. But then I went and played it back a couple of years ago when it was free to play on Xbox. I was like, this game's awesome. I love this. This is fun. And I bought the second game. This is awesome. I played it 5 times. And then this game came out. I was like, this is so big of an expansion, it might as well be its own game, which is why I'm putting it on my list, because I got so much time out of this expansion pack. Like, it delivers so much on us.
While I get connected to Wi-Fi.
Sorry about that. My stupid Google Home decided to start talking for some reason. I don't know what I said to make that thing start talking, but I hate the damn thing. As I was being said, before Skynet rudely interrupted
You're
me.
gonna be the first to go, Max.
Yeah, I know. It's been fun. But anyway, XCOM 2 was a great expansion pack simply because of the story and everything it delivered on. So yeah, those are my 4. My top 4, my 4 best games of all time, best games of the year are Ghost Recon, Middle-earth: Shadow of War, Fortnite, the multiplayer version, as I have not played the single-player version or the co-op version, and then XCOM 2, War of the Chosen.
Okay, you got a pretty solid list. Okay, so I'm going to go into mine now, and I'm actually going to make a quick little substitution, and I'm going to go ahead and get it out the way before I forget it.
Okay.
One of mine, and like I said, mine are not in any particular order. I just listed, my favorite games of the year. And I'd say number 1, the reason I replaced it, the original was Breath of the Wild. And, I loved it. I played a little bit of it. I don't own a Switch, but I was able to get a couple hours in the game and actually sit down and play it. And after that little 2-hour demo, I was tempted to go to the store and buy a Switch with that game and come home and just lock myself in my room. That game was just great. It actually won Game of the Year. I checked. It did win Game of the Year. It did.
Okay.
It did. It beat.
Kudos to that. Kudos to it. It deserves
so
it.
Excited about that. But I'm going to go ahead and substitute it because I know we talked about Breath of the Wild, a pretty fair deal in the last podcast. So that was basically an honorable mention. What takes its spot is actually Super Mario Odyssey.
Really?
Yes, I look at that game every day on YouTube, basically. I mean, I really don't look for it, but I just see it. I see people who normally do Call of Duty stuff, who normally do, Battlefront stuff. I see them trying out Mario Odyssey because, Christmas just passed. People were getting, different kind of stuff. Some people got some Switches for Christmas, and they picked up, of course, Super Mario Odyssey. And I'm looking back at it, and my goodness, I did not realize how good of a game, how good of a Mario game it was. I feel like that's the culmination of how far we've come with Mario from the typical 2D side-scroller platforming game that we got way back when for the NES to now. Seeing how this game is designed and seeing the level design, the replay value, the level design, everything about the game just screams fun. You have a good time when you play the game. You're rewarded for exploring, which I am a sucker for in every video game that comes out. So Super Mario Odyssey, definitely one of my top games of 2017. Before we get into it, I'm also going to go ahead and say that you had 2 games from my list as well.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Ghost Recon Wildlands and Fortnite. Wildlands, I was super impressed with, especially after The Division. I was kind of, worried about that little correlation between those two. So Wildlands came out, really loved it. And then Fortnite. Didn't get the trend at first. I don't know about you, but,
I didn't even know it was a free-to-play game. I thought it was just a game, it was just a beta at the time. I was like, okay, that's cool.
And I think, I actually bought the PvE campaign thing. I actually bought
you did?
that. Yeah, I did. And I wanted to talk about that since you didn't really, get into that since you just played the Battle Royale. The Battle Royale mode is really, really fun. I overlooked it. I thought it was just another, and that's the thing. I'm not a big fan of PUBG. I'm going to get so much hate for that, but you know what? I'm not a big fan of it. I've tried.
Just love for you?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. And honestly, Max, I think it's because I'm a bad player. I think that's the reason why. I just think I'm a bad player. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm bad. Games like that, I am horrible at it.
That is why I don't play Fortnite. I'm at Fortnite, sorry. Fortnite, I'm actually decent at Fortnite. What's the name? For Honor.
Oh, dude.
The other guy. I think that was Ubisoft as well, right?
Yeah, it's Ubisoft. But,
yeah.
But Fortnite, I picked it up. Download. I went ahead. I saw a ton of videos right when the game was becoming this big uproar in gaming, and I saw videos on it. Saw live streams. I'm like, looks pretty interesting. Kind of read more into it. Heard it had this single player early access thing. And I'm like, okay, it's look, if it says zombies in it, I'm getting it. That's just me. So I went ahead and bought it. Played the PvE for a little bit. Then decided, okay, let's try out this PvP battle royale thing, whatever this is. Played it. Just loved it. The simplicity of it, the accessibility of it, I loved it. I thought it was just really, really nice. I like the world design, and I don't know. It's one of those games where you can literally, okay, you got 5 minutes before you got to go somewhere, pick up the controller, maybe place top 50, top 40. Just have fun, just exploring the world, do whatever you got to do. It's a game to just like to pick up, to play for a little bit, and you're good. You don't have to spend so much time sitting there grinding for this, because you can level up. I know then like the seasons they're having now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you really don't get any physical, like any in-game stuff that's worth it to level up. It's just really like a, I guess like a haha, I'm this level and you're this level, I guess, kind of thing.
It makes no difference.
Right. So that's Fortnite, one of my favorite games, and then my last two. I was hesitant to put these two, and I'm kind of talk about the first one here. Is Cuphead.
Okay.
Actually playing that game, oh my gosh, I really thought it was overhyped. The week it came out, I'm like, dude, everyone is talking about this game. It's a platforming game. How good can it be? People, we live in 2017. Why are we praising platforms? I'm saying that, kind of hating on it, and then I play it, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. And the big thing is, the gameplay is okay. That's one thing I've picked up on. But the art, like the art, and the animations and these characters and these bosses and the challenging aspect the game throws at you, oh my goodness, it's fun. I had a great time when I played it, and I think you guys will too. So Cuphead is one of my top games of 2017, and finally,
bit of a curveball for that one.
Definitely different. Definitely a different pick. I think one of my favorite games besides Assassin's Creed Origins this year. And this is definitely, I really did say one of the best for last. Horizon Zero Dawn. I was so worried that this game was going to be a Destiny, because the game was hyped up.
I was kind of expecting that.
Because the game was hyped up before launch. And I was like, uh-oh, the last time we had this, Destiny came out. So I'm thinking, uh-oh, please, let's be good. So I pre-ordered it, played it, and I fell in love with it. The beautiful, vast open world that we got from this game was just marvelous. I love the customization you have for your character, and just everything about the game just screamed. I think it was potential. It could have won game of the year, but it wasn't beating out Breath of the Wild.
No.
So that's my last top game of 2017. Now.
Okay. Nice list.
To close out the podcast, guys, we are actually going to be doing our 2017 letdowns in video games. And I believe I have two.
You have two?
I have two.
Okay. I actually have three.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. So I'm going to start off with, once again, beginning of the year, because I'm a stickler for organization. I'm going to go ahead and start with Halo Wars 2.
A letdown for you. I
loved the first one in 2009. I did. It was one of my favorite games of that year. More, I don't know, it's because of nostalgia, but I love real-time strategy. It's my favorite genre of all time as far as games are concerned. And I was like, okay, I want a sequel. When are we getting a sequel? And all of a sudden, 2015 rolls around, and I hear we're getting a Halo Wars 2. I'm like, yes. Then 2016 rolls around, and I see some videos. I see some like, okay, this game has the marketing behind it. It has all this stuff. So let's go for it. Let's do this. Then I play the beta. I'm like, okay. And I play the beta. I'm like, okay, yes, this is awesome. This is like exactly what I expected. It's a little too much. It's a little close to what Halo Wars 1 was, but it's what I loved about it. So let's go. Then the game came out. For the first month or two, I was like, I love this. This is awesome. And then the game started to show its age. It only was 3 months old, but it started to show its age. It's in the sense that like, the game was boring. Like, it was the same thing. So I was like, I'm just playing the same game like over and over again. And yes, they did have free content every month, but that didn't stop me from I stopped playing the game. The new character came out. I played him for a little bit, then I stopped. That was my mentality of the game. So I was like, okay, I get it. But yeah, Halo Wars was one of my first ones simply because it was just the exact same stuff over and over again, and it, like that's it. It had no differentiation between the first game and this game. Second game, Destiny 2.
Ooh, that's solid. Solid.
When did this game come out? In October? September? When did it come out?
Actually September. It was a very early release.
I played it September. I stopped playing it by October.
Wow. That's the story of every Destiny 2 player, though, right?
I have not picked this game up. I have not opened it up. I have not started it up. I have not done anything in this game because it's the same thing as the first one. And like, I gave it an 8 when I reviewed it, but like, that wasn't because of like, for what it had at launch, it was fine. And then I stopped playing it after that because there was nothing else to this game. But Max, go get the DLC. I shouldn't have to plop down an extra $40 for a game after 1 month of playing it.
Right.
You shouldn't have to. Like, I wasn't the tier level of 305, but I am not gonna grind for 2,500 hours to get to a level and then be done. I'm like, okay, what now? I'm done. I'm not putting all that time into a game that I don't care about.
Right.
The story was strong at first, and then it just was stupid. Spoiler alert: you lose your light, your force power basically, and then you get it back in 3 seconds. So that's just stupid.
Right.
The villain is okay, Gary or Gaul, whatever the hell his name is. Then the gameplay is the exact same. It's the exact same stuff that you do in Destiny 1. It is a checklist video game. You go on there every week. You do the checklist things that you can do. Go do this mission, get this loot, and then be done with it, and then wait until the reset point of the very next week. That being said, it's still an okay game, but it's still a huge letdown for me. Then my third game, which I don't know if you have it on your list, but if you do, I apologize, but it's my third one. It came out recently. I think it was last month.
Say it.
And please. It came to huge controversy. Battlefront 2.
Oh, okay. It's not what I was thinking, but a good pick. Good pick. Okay.
Okay. It makes me interested in what you're gonna say. Point is, Battlefront 2. God, I didn't even like the first game, so I don't even know why it's a huge letdown for me. Like, the first one was okay, and then the second one's like, okay, let's see if they can do some things right. Then they said, okay, free DLC. Awesome. Let's go from there.
They paved the pathway to a great game.
Oh, they did, but they did exactly what I knew they were going to do. They got greedy. Oh, we're giving you free content, but we're going to make you pay for everything else.
Right, exactly.
So it's just like, no. And they took the loot box system to a whole new level in a bad way. And we all know the stories behind that, so I'm not going to get into it. But, yeah, I played the beta for Battlefront 2, and I was instantly bored in, like, two levels. I mean, like, two games. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go play something else.
Right.
So, yes, those are my 3 games. Halo, all sequels, more or less, which basically says this just because, like, my 3 games, Halo Wars 2, Destiny 2, and Battlefront 2.
Okay. All right. Great list, Max. Great list. I definitely agree on all fronts of that. Really can't say much about Halo Wars 2. Never really got a chance to get around to it. But I can take your word for it. As you, a big fan, I can only imagine.
One really did. It didn't sell many copies, so I'm not expecting a third one to come out. But if it does, I'll be right back in the beginning of, oh, let's see, this game is awesome.
Right.
It's kind of like the Transformers mentality.
Right.
Maybe this is the one.
This could be the one, and then you go in and you're like, okay, well, maybe next try. You have unlimited chances. All right, so like I said, I have 2 letdowns. Honorable mention, though, I do know what you're saying with Battlefront 2. I waited. I played the beta. Had fun, but only in the sense that it was all eras. That was the only reason I enjoyed the beta.
Yeah.
It was coming out. Everyone was like, dude, you haven't pre-ordered yet? I'm like, no, I'm not going to pre-order yet. Are you insane? Have you? Everyone's like, yeah, I pre-ordered. I'm like, you're insane. So I'm like, okay. So I think I waited a good 2.5 weeks before I actually bought the game. I broke down. I was like, you know what? It looked, because I was at a friend's house. They were taking turns like playing it, and we all were. And then I go into a game like, let me try it out. So I pop in a game as the officer, and I just start wrecking. I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. The game may be bad.
They sucked you in.
Look, the game may be bad, but I'm doing good. So I need to get this game. So I get in the car, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to GameStop right now. So I bought it, brought it back, and then that night, that's all we played that night. And then at around 1 o'clock in the morning, I was like, yep, this was a good waste of $60. I can definitely tell that. So And yeah, I definitely do agree. I like on all fronts. No pun intended, but
I see
yeah,
what you did
yeah,
there. I
not
see.
intended, not intentional.
That's how bad my jokes are. I see what
Right. So yeah, the loot box system is took like 5 steps backwards. Um, the campaign, I really think that was okay. I mean, apparently it's canon, so that's
it
pretty
doesn't.
cool.
It doesn't really do anything for the Star Wars universe, but yes, it is canon.
I mean, like it bridges a small gap, but that's about it.
Yeah, which they
And
could have
then
definitely done in
right.
a comic book, but whatever.
So I'm gonna save the best for last. That was an honorable mention. Another one, not really a letdown, but more or less like, okay, I was kind of disappointed that it didn't do too well. Is Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or you know Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Okay.
I remember playing Marvel vs. Capcom like back when I was a kid, and I loved it. I thought the game was fun. I did bad, like I wasn't good at the game. It goes back to the thing. Maybe I'm just not good at video games, you know. So I enjoyed those, but you know, just fighting with Marvel characters, going up against Street Fighter characters, it was fun to me. I enjoyed that. I thought it was fun. And then this game comes out. I saw the trailers for it. The hype was built up, you know, building for it. Of course, with Marvel being the dominant force they are today. I'm like, oh, there we go. This is the fighting. This is the Marvel game we've been looking forward to. And then before this, there was actually, still in the works, an Avengers game coming out by Square Enix. I think they're one of the developers on it. Slated for a release next year, possibly. But I was thinking that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 would be like, you know, the good holdover until that. And I played it. It's fun. It's a fighting game, but it's not necessarily that it's bad that it's on my letdown list. But the fact that you never really heard about it. Like, it released, and then you hear nothing about it after that. Mm-hmm. And then you come to realize that it's just another fighting game, you know?
Yeah.
So not really a bad game, just really more of a, you know, really just a letdown. And now, what I've been holding in for the last 3 weeks, I will be doing a separate podcast on it with some other friends of mine who want to talk about this. But my biggest video game letdown of 2017 has got to be Call of Duty World War II. That's right, everyone. Call of Duty World War II, letdown of 2017. Dear gosh, where do I start? Well, wow, let's see. We only get 9 maps at launch for multiplayer when we're, of course, accustomed to 12 to 13. The map design in those few maps you would think is good with there being few maps, but it's not. There's like 1 or 2 maps that I actually think are like make sense. Like the other maps are just so oddly designed. It's like, what are you doing? The campaign, I've actually played through it, and yeah, it's the
same stuff you know about.
It is, but I was really disappointed in it because they advertised it as this like really gritty storytelling of what life was like during World War II. And dude, it's so watered down. Like, you would expect there to be, like, some... I mean, like, look, in the world we live in of trying to be, you know, politically correct and try not to offend anyone in that sense, you know, yeah, you expect this game to be the breaking of the barrier that says, look, regardless of what the world says now, this is what life was like back then. It didn't have that. It still had that, you know, watered down storytelling of World War II that I didn't care for. I really don't like. That's why I don't like the campaign. I was expecting something really gritty, and you know, kids are going to be buying this game, so I was expecting that to be like, hey, you play this game all you want, but you know, just realize, because that's especially nowadays. I really think that people need to, at a young age, just know what that was like, especially.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I really think they should know what it's like. And I thought for sure that Call of Duty, that Sledgehammer Games, was going to give them a story that was definitely rated M. And just tell this younger generation of people, like, hey, this is what World War II is like. No matter what people say now, and, you know, we've moved past that, this is what it was like. So be glad that you are not in that time in history because of how, you know, awful it could have been.
Yeah, they're never gonna get back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Airport. They're never going back there.
No, they couldn't have. I mean, to the point where that mission was optional. That's when you know you pretty crazy level.
There's never going to be another optional mission ever in Call of Duty unless they take a few years off and like do some serious remodeling.
Right. But that was my big in regards to the campaign. I hated that. I was so disappointed in that. Zombies is literally, this is what I feel like how the meeting went down. They were basically saying like, okay, we need a zombies mode. That's what people want. Oh, but the people that make Black Ops, Treyarch, they're next year. So we need something to hold off these people. We'll just give them, I guess, Nazi zombies. Oh, is this, let's give them Nazi zombies. That's fine. Let's give them that. And then that's it. That's all you heard about it. Zombies has had no real content added to it since its launch. The last time I played Nazi Zombies was probably 2.5 to 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm already bored of it. It's fun. It's a very good first time experience, but after that, you're like, you get bored of it. And then me personally, I go back to Treyarch Zombie. I go back to Black Ops 3 and play zombies.
Like, here's the thing about zombies, though. Like, I'm one of those people where, like, I'll be, like, the only one saying this, but I honestly prefer when zombies was simple. World at War, the very first time I ever played zombies was one of the most memorable experiences in video games I've ever remembered in my entire life. It was me and my friend. We were sitting in his living room, lights off, playing Nox Don't Tartan. I know I butchered that, but like,
you were right.
Point is, close. Like, so like and then the lights are off. It was scary. It was eerie. I'm like, ooh, this is awesome. Then I get it. Like, you gotta try to add more substance to keep the people entertained who have very low attention spans. But like, I get it. Like, no offense, Tyler. I know you have a very high attention span. But like, they had all these Easter eggs, all these storylines. Like, I get it, but like, it's just too much. Like, what happened to zombies just being zombies? But that's just
I totally get that, because people have come up to me, and me being like a huge zombies fan, people have come up to me, and especially with Black Ops 3, they were like, dude, what was up with that crazy Shadows of Evil map? And I'm like, y'all, it's so me, the guy who's played it since and kind of figures out everything. I'm like, y'all, this is so easy. They're like, dude, shut up. No, it's not. It's easy for you. It's not easy for us. So I'm thinking, but yeah, I know, I definitely understand it. But not only that, going back to World War II, is that it's so like this. It's so, I don't know. I remember in Black Ops 3 when they would kind of keep things fresh by, adding in. I know it got to a point in Black Ops 3 where they added like daily challenges where you got, the equivalent of like, some stuff to get like the little zombie supply drops, which were like the gobble gum things from Black Ops 3. And then, gave you incentives to want to play. This game doesn't give you any incentive to play besides ranking up. So it's not really, like that. Anyway, getting a little off the topic there, that's okay. The last thing I wanted to mention is I thought this would be the game where they nail it on the head. They didn't. It's supply drops. The way and the mechanism and the algorithm and how you earn them is perfect. That's great. I love how you can earn supply drops through completing challenges, by doing this, by, they have the collection system where you earn these like depot credits and you can build stuff to work towards getting a variant of a weapon, which all are cosmetic based. They only give you like a few extra things of experience. So I've looked at those. They are cosmetic only for now, and that's what they do. But it's just nice to have new weapons. The problem is instead of adding like, maybe supply drop like bonus camouflages for like all your guns, what do they add? Oh, right. They add pistol grips. So I'm like, okay, great. Me, a guy who never runs a pistol ever, can get or has like a 60% chance of getting either a pistol grip, a title, which I'm probably not going to use on my call sign, an emblem, which is just dumb, and that off chance I get like a costume or something like that.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'm going to like to say about the game, which ties into the supply drop thing, is that the biggest mistake in this game was being era specific. They said they wanted to stick with the era of World War II and not have anything too outlandish. Like, God forbid they had an emote at the end of the game where your dude or your girl dabs. Like, they were like, no, we are not having that. That is not what they had in World War II, so we're not having it in our game.
I am glad that dabbing is out, because dabbing's stupid.
I'm glad it's out, but it's the principle that because we're in a World War II game, we can't have a flashy blue camo on our gun.
Yeah, that's a little stupid. Let the single player campaign be the era specific
Exactly
time, and then have multiplayer keep in the error, but then have cosmetics be whatever you want.
Right. So my closing statement on this for my biggest letdown of 2017 is that, okay, that's fine. So you want to stick to era specific, so basically a sort of realism. You're in the right step. Oh, but wait. You want to go for realism. Meanwhile, you got this overpowered sniper that's so easily obtained that I can get one shot from across the map through 3 walls, a truck, a car, and then another person.
Is that true?
I'm exaggerating, but
okay.
But there is a sniper that is just way too good. Third time's a charm. I'm a bad player. Maybe that's it. All right, but look, it's the matter of, they were like, we want realism, but do we?
No.
You have to flip them. Like, have the crazy blue can, like that's, and look, the last thing I will say, final thing. I got the deluxe edition for this game. Huge mistake, because it came with this zombies camo that you can put on your gun in zombies. And it's like this animated, it's got like blue lightning on it. It looks really cool. The best part about it is you cannot equip it in multiplayer.
Why not?
It is only available in zombies, in the game mode Nazi Zombies. You cannot equip the camo you paid extra money for in multiplayer, simply because in World War II, they did not have this blue lightning camo on the battlefield.
Well, guess what? They also didn't have people running around who got 25 kills and all of a sudden can drop a nuke in.
Exactly my point. So with all
if they
that
want
being
full
said,
realism, they take out kill streaks and make Call of Duty not Call of Duty. Simple as that.
Exactly. Those are my biggest points. I will be reiterating and stating a couple more in a podcast. I know a couple of my other friends who have played the game and are fans of the series like I am have some words about it. So expect that on the channel. Probably in the coming year, possibly. We're gonna give
the coming
it some
year,
time.
but considering the year's the next 4 days.
Right. So we're gonna give it some time. So don't worry, we're gonna be getting that one out. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna close it out. Was there any last minute things you wanted to add to your favorites or your letdowns or anything?
No, I think I've stated all of my facts. I'm just looking forward to 2018.
I really am. In regards to movies,
I think I know exactly what Infinity War.
War. And then I think so. If we had to rate what we're most excited about on a scale of Solo, a Star Wars story, to Infinity War, I think that's a pretty good scale.
I'm not looking forward to Solo at all. I am in a sense that Cool will be in the universe of Star Wars again, but it's gonna be like, hey, you remember this catch line he always says? Remember this place? Remember this story he told you? Well, guess what? That's all it's gonna be in the film. Like, I'm not looking forward to this.
Ford.
Nope.
You don't even get Harrison Ford.
So I'm looking forward to it, but then again, I'm not. I don't care. I cared more about Rogue One than I did than I am a Han Solo, a solo film, whatever the hell it's called.
But I think look, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm going to see it, but I'm not expecting much. So look, that's the thing. Maybe 2018 can bring about the
hey, it might. You never know.
The wow factor, But I think to close out here today, guys, I think I'm not going to mention a Marvel movie as like one of my most anticipated, because if I do have to say some, Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, those are the 3 that are coming out next year. Really excited about that. But I'm going to go to you, Max, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this out there real quick. My most anticipated movie next year, surprise, I just think I'm just kind of like a little fanboy about it. I'm looking forward to Tomb Raider.
You are.
I am. I think part in that is because I love Alicia Vikander. I loved her in Ex Machina, and so that's why I'm kind of looking forward to this one. Plus, I love Tomb Raider.
Okay. It's not a Marvel film, but it is a Marvel film. I'm gonna go ahead and state Deadpool 2 and The Incredibles 2.
Ooh, good picks.
And Venom.
And I was wondering. I thought you were gonna say Venom at first when you said it's Marvel, but it's not. That's okay. Okay.
If you look at the list, there are a ton of films coming out next year that have potential to be great.
They do, right?
Venom, The Predator, X-Men, Dark Phoenix is coming out next year.
Ooh, looking forward to that.
They got a lot of films coming out next year that have the potential to be good, but also have the potential to be horrible.
They do. They do. So we'll just have to see what the coming year throws about it. So guys, in closing, I want to thank you guys for sticking to the end here. We really appreciate you guys' support on the videos and on the podcast soon. I'm going to close out by saying, if you have not checked out Max's website, link will be in the description below. Guys, go ahead and comment what in any medium of entertainment are you looking forward to in 2018. What was your favorite thing about 2017, and what are you most looking forward to? Go ahead and let us know in the comments below. But guys, that's where I'm going to close it out. If you enjoyed, go ahead and drop a like, as it does help out so much. If you haven't done so already and are interested, be sure you hit that subscribe button for more podcasts and videos coming you guys' way very soon. Me and Max want to wish you a safe and a happy new year in 2018. Max, any closing statements?
Nothing. This has been Entertainment Forever, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
All right, guys, we will see you in the next video, and peace out.
Goodbye.